right. Shalom. First and foremost, I of course want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High, and Yahushai, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to, do a little lesson, man, about, the topic of, being poor, man. All right. So I just, have a couple, precepts, lined up, man. Okay, to, flow through, the scriptures. Okay, to see what the scriptures, speak about, on the subject, man. Okay, because we all know, as a matter of fact, I got the gigantic version here today. Oh, and by the way, real quick, mind of God, if you didn't see my new shirt yet, there we go, man. Which, by the way, if you want to order one for yourself, wish.com. All right, wish.com, flat earth t-shirt. There you go, 20 bucks. Right, in case anybody was wondering. Anyway, I don't have these, skip G's in any particular order. We're just gonna, go through them. We'll break it all down as we go along. Okay, so the first, skip G that I have written down is in the book of James. Okay, so we're gonna go to the book of James real quick. Bear with me just a sec. I'll pause it. Alright, this is the book of James, chapter 2, at verse 5. It says, "Hearken, my brethren, have not Yahweh chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and hearers of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him?" Right, so the Lord, contrary to popular belief, man, he isn't looking, for those who are, in this society, have a better standard of living, man. Right? He isn't looking for, those who are, of the upper classes. He's looking for the bottom, right? Those who are on the bottom, man. Okay, now that's of course not to say that the Lord couldn't use somebody who's in a higher up position, because the Lord can. And there's been many examples, in the scriptures, the Lord using both poor men and both rich men. Okay, so of course that's not to say that and that goes into another topic, man, about the whole salvation thing, which we're going to get that scripture as well. But scriptures speak about, it's hard for a man, to enter into the the kingdom of heaven, if he's rich, right? It's more likely for a poor man to enter into the kingdom than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom. Okay, but that's not to say that a rich man can't make it there. Okay. Let me see. Let's go to the book of Mark. Go to the book of Mark, chapter 10. And we'll go to verse 17. Okay, it's a little longer here. A decent amount of verses I want to read. But, it's all edification, right? All of this is good, so I wanted to get all of it here. Mark chapter 10 and verse 17. It says, and this is Yahushai that's going to be speaking here. Okay, it says that when he was going forth into the way, there came one running and kneeled to him and asked him, "Good master, what shall I do that I may inherit everlasting life?" Right, so as Christ is walking, there was a man who came to him and asked him, "What must I do in order to receive, the kingdom? What must I do?" And Christ answered him. It says, verse 18, it says, "And Yahushai said unto him, Why didst thou call me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. Thou knowest the commandments: do not commit adultery, do not kill, do not steal, do not bear false witness, do not defraud, honor thy father and thy mother." And he answered and said unto him, Master, all these have I observed from my youth. Then Yahushai, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest. Go thy way, sell whatsoever thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come and take up the cross and follow me. Right, now I want to stop real quick right there, man, because, there's this thing. I recommend y'all look it up, man. This movement out there that they call themselves the minimalist, right, which they live with, may I say, below their means, so to speak, right? Like, there's some of these guys who take it to a extreme, man. We're living with literally just stuff that fits in a backpack and nothing else. That's a little extreme, but you know what? Look into it, okay? It just basically means getting rid of, stuff that you don't necessarily need, okay? It can be, and it truly, I'll tell you, man, it takes a lot of stress off of you, man, okay? The more stuff that you have, the more stressful it is. Because, say, for an example, hell, I know some people, man, who have to order 2 storage units just to pack their stuff, man, all right, and 2 U-Hauls, all right, in order to transport their merchandise that they've acquired over the years, across the country when they move. Or as Larkin Rose would say, across the crunchy, inside joke. All right, anyway, in all serious, man, getting back to what I was saying, which, by the way, look into minimalism, man. There's a series on that Netflix, which is not a series, it's actually a documentary, okay, which I just watched yesterday. It's a minimalist documentary. Just go on Netflix and look up the term. I believe it's called Now Is Less or something like that. It has a weird name. Or if you just look up minimalist or minimalism, you'll see the documentary I'm talking about. Watch that documentary. It's a great documentary. Okay, go ahead and watch that, man. Which, by the way, I wanted to mention while we're on the topic of, money and whatnot, man. I was watching the other day. I was watching on YouTube a documentary about I believe it's called the Hope Diamond. I believe the Hope Diamond. Look that up. Which is supposed to be some type of like cursed, a diamond or something like that. But anyway, I went to the comment section and somebody was, of course, putting a joke up there about because they mentioned in the video how expensive it is, right? So somebody was on there like making fun of what was that guy, the bald head guy from the Pawn Stars, or not the Pawn Stars, the the Pawn Stars show, right? I believe his name was Rick Harrison, right? The as I said, bald head guy, right? Somebody said in the comment section, right, Rick Harrison be like, I'll give you $5 for it, and I am taking a huge risk here, right? I'll give you $5, but I am taking a huge risk, just to show, how ridiculous it gets sometimes on the show, man. Which is a good show. I grew up watching that show. I'm sure most of us probably know what that is. Anyway, I digress. We'll get back into what I was speaking about. But yeah, Christ said what? Sell all that you have and come follow me. Right, so, that goes into, man, we don't want to be, carrying around all this clutter with us, man. And that's especially hard, man. Especially if you live in America, Babylon the Great, man. Why? Because America is a consumer, okay? Americans are raised to be consumers, man. Matter of fact, did you know that the average American household has, over 300,000 individual items in it? Look that up. It's true. Okay, the average home has over 300,000. Of course, that's counting paper clips and, silverware and individual plates. Okay, but think about that. 300,000 for the average house. That's not even talking about the above average person who spends and spends and spends. I ain't even talking about that. Just talking about the average Joe, man. Okay, think about that. That's crazy, man. Okay, anyway, verse 22, it says, and he was very sad at that saying, and went away grieved, for he had many great possessions. Right, this young man, he came to the Lord Yahushua and asked him, what must I do to follow you? And he told him, sell all that you have, and you can come follow me, and you will have rewards in the kingdom. But he didn't want to do that because he had too many great possessions, man. Okay, so the moral of the video, man, is, the truth is, man, it's better to be a poor man than it is to be a rich man, especially in the times that we're in right now, man. Okay, which is what the end of the end, man. All right, and you can see it, right? Everything that Christ said to look out for, that would be happening in the world around the time of his second coming. You can see it, man. Matthew the 24th chapter, Mark the 13th chapter. You can see it. Only a damn fool could pretend that that's not evident. Okay, I mean, come on. It's, hey, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, man. All right, anyway, verse 23, it says, And Yahushai looked around about and said unto his disciples, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of Yahweh? And the disciples were astonished at his words. But Yahushai answereth again, and said unto them, Children, how hard is it for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh? It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Right, so as we see, man, it's going to be very difficult for those in this world who have great possessions, and have much, substance, right, much money, to enter into, Christ's kingdom. It's going to be a very difficult, thing for those people to do, man. Not, as I said, not impossible, but it's not going to be an easy task to do, man. Okay, because the more money you have, the more likely it is, man, that, you're going to do whatever it takes to, acquire even more money, right? And spend what, on whatever your heart's desire is, man. Okay, and, truth is, man, the real aspect that you have to have about it, man, is, as the scriptures speak about, man, where we all came into this world with nothing and we all can go out with nothing, right? You can't carry any bags with you, man. Okay, you can't take anything with you, when you pass on from this place, which is, the earth, okay, which is, mind of God's on there, but the earth is hell, which he's right, the earth is hell, according to the book of Ecclesiastes. What is that, the third chapter, I believe the 15th verse. So he's right on that. All right, that the earth is hell, man. Okay, at least right now, why the wicked is in rulership. All right, the scriptures speak about when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right, and look at the earth right now. I mean, hell, man. Even whales be beaching themselves out here, right? Dolphins be beaching themselves. It's not funny, but I mean, just like, goddamn, man. All right, this man, Esau, he's done too much, man. What is that? That's Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? The earth, the powership of the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right? So that's why all of this is going on right now. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to get as much precepts as possible. Okay, but hey, man, the moral of the story is, man, now of course money, it's something that we all have to have in order to survive, and pay for our bills and buy our food and whatever. So of course money itself isn't evil, because guys go to the verse speaks about the love of money is the root of all evil. But yeah, the love of money is the root of evil, but not money itself. Money didn't do anything. First of all, real money is gold and silver and cattle and land. That's what real money is, not this paper money. It's a fake currency. It's not backed by anything. It's not even worth the money. Well, let me rephrase myself. It's not even worth the cloth that it's printed on, because it's not necessarily paper. Because if you wet a bill, I mean, hell, if you put a bill into damn acid or whatever, man, well, not the strongest kind, but even if you put it into the lesser strong kind, we'll say, like put it in bleach or something, man, you'll find they put it there a month later. I mean, hell, thing's still there, man. They've found wallets that have been lost in, a pond or, an overcross or whatever, for 20 years, and the money's still intact, man. All right, 20 years of sitting in a puddle, or I should say in a pond, or, somewhere out in elements, and the money's still fine, because it's not necessarily paper. All right, we all know what happens with paper when it gets wet. But anyway, let's go to the book of Mark, or let's go to the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, and let's go to verse 3. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." Right, but the point of the matter is, right, blessed are the poor. Right, blessed are the poor, man. Okay, because as I said, the truth is, man, you look at some of these guys out here, man, they don't, oh, which we gotta get this as well. We gotta get Psalms the 73rd chapter, right? But some of these cats in this society, man, ain't gotta worry about a damn thing, man. I mean, some of these guys get lucky, man, where they're born into, family of much, substance, right? So they don't gotta worry about a damn thing in their life, man, right? But meanwhile, like us, we're in trouble, right? I'm in trouble, right? And I'm getting that reference from the book of Psalms, the 73rd chapter. Let me just find the verse real quick. There's my, okay. This is talking about the global elites, right? And those who are well off in the society, man. Mainly the ones that are at the top of the system, right? The Rockefellers, and all those who work behind the scenes to control the world. Right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and verse 5. It says, "For they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." Right, they're not in trouble like other men. Right, these guys don't have to worry about, the next car payment that's coming up. Right, these guys don't have to worry about, the, putting food in the fridge. They don't got to worry about, well, what happens if, the bank gets, my, there's too many things that could go wrong for the average man, right? That these cats don't have to worry about, man. Right? They can sit around all day. As I said, man, a lot of these cats can just sit around all day while the guys under them, do all the hard work, man. Right? So they're not in trouble like other men. They're not in trouble like we are. They don't, which I used to work for a rich man. I used to work for a multi-millionaire, right? So hey, man, I'll tell you, man, this one time, man, I was, the guy's wife recently died, right? So, he was, on the job site, looking at a couple of the houses that we had to work on, so I went in the back of, his pickup truck, so we could drive over to the facility, that we had to, work on, because he had to come and inspect and, see, everything's, how everything's doing, and whatnot. But anyway, I remember, earlier in the day, man, there was the lady he knows that he came to see him, right, to see how he was doing, man, and whatnot, because they all know that he's loaded, man. Guy got more money than ever could need. So he made a joke, it was like, oh yeah, I mean, my wife passed, probably shed a couple tears or whatnot, but he was like, you know, I mean, I could certainly use, a couple, woman, around or whatnot, of course, making a joke out of it, but being serious at the same time, trying to, yeah, she was attractive, man. Right, she was pretty attractive actually. But anyway, here's the funny part, man. As we're driving back to the area where we need to go work, okay? So we're driving, and somebody comes up this way as we're going the opposite way, right? Which they end up stopping next to it, and it turns out that it was actually a female that lived in the area, that when apparently the girl from earlier probably called her or something and told him, yeah, this guy's looking to hook up with some ladies, man. So she pulled up and like, oh yeah, no, how are you doing, oh, here's my phone number, right? Here's my phone number. I mean, it's like, damn, I don't think I've ever seen a woman give a guy her phone number before without him asking, right? That's new. I've never seen. But it's like, damn, this guy can pick up women like that, man. Damn, they're not in trouble like other men, right? They're not, hey, as it says, they're not plagued. They're not in trouble like other men, right? They're not. They don't have to go through the same adversity that the average man has to go through, man. All right, so I just wanted to share that little funny story real quick, man, just to give a visual, for lack of better words. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the skip sheets. Bear with me. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 9, and let's go to verse 58. Bear with me a second. All right, I just want to bring this verse out just to show, man, that Yahweh Shai, right, which Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly, calls Jesus Christ, man, he is the ultimate example that we are, to take, man. All right, because here it is, man. He was born to a poor man and a poor woman, right? And he was their child, all right? And he grew up poor, man, right? He could have, been born, to the top, class of the society, man, right? To some of the top rulers. And it goes back to the whole thing in, Exodus, man, dealing with Moses, right? Because what happened with Moses when he was born, his mother put him into a basket and put him into the, I believe it's, what was it, the Nile River, right? And then what happened was, because at the time they were killing the boy children, right? So they put him in the basket and he sailed down the river, and the Pharaoh's daughter, ended up finding his the basket with the baby in it. So they ended up raising him. Who was the baby? The baby was Moses, right? Which is the one that the Lord used to free the Israelites from out of the hand of the Egyptians later on. But the reason I'm bringing this up, man, is Moses was brought up in luxury. Okay, so he would have been killed if they found him, and if they have not decided to kill the boy children, they would have all been in slavery, right? Building up the pyramids and all the sculptures of Egypt and whatnot, whatever they had to do, right, to be in slavery. But Moses was raised in luxury, right? But then there came a point where he had to turn that down, man. He had to turn from that lifestyle in order to go with the Israelites, right? Because the Lord called him to lead the Israelites, and to, save his people, right? So Moses had to put behind him, the money and the glory and riches that Egypt had to offer in order to follow the Lord's commandments by bringing the Israelites out of Egypt into the wilderness. Okay, when you deal with the book of Exodus. Okay, anyway, I wanted to read Luke chapter 9 and verse 58. It says, "And Yahushai said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Right, so Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus Christ, he didn't even have a place to lay his head, man. Okay, let's read that again. Luke chapter 9 and verse 58. "And Yahushai said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Right, so hey, look, man, Yahushai was also a very poor man, right? He lived in poverty, man. As we see here, he didn't have a crib. He didn't have, anywhere to call a home, man. He didn't have, he would be, what you would call today a couch, surfer, right? Somebody who pretty much just stays with, their friends and families, man. Okay. Or, with anybody they, are able to, to get with, at the time being, because they themselves are not capable of financially supporting, a home of their own at the time being, right? So, that just shows you, man, that Yahushai, which again, Yahushai is the ultimate example, man, of how we are to be, man. Yahushai is the one we are to look up to, Okay, because it's like, damn, man. Hey, as the scriptures say, what is that? Isaiah the 53rd chapter, right? He took upon himself the sins of us all, right? Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He took upon him the sins of all of us, right? All the sins of Israel, man. Okay, why? And that goes into another topic, so I'm not going to get off into that. But again, if you want to read that, that's Isaiah the 53rd chapter. But yeah, man, that he had a heavy burden on him, man. I mean, and there was a point where, when he was, leading to, the time when he was going to be crucified, man. And, bear with me a second. And what happened was, he was going to be betrayed by Judas, right? So, he ended up having, sweat of blood, man, all right, from the amount of stress and, whatnot he found himself under, man. So, hey, none of the things that we're going through can compare to what he had to go through, man. All right, so we all got to remember that. Anyway, I do have one more verse I wanted to get, which is actually in the Apocrypha. Okay, let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra. Oh, look at that. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. I opened up right to it, man. Okay, we're just going to go to the first verse of the chapter. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, "And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words which I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case the entrance there was narrow like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If it went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?" Let's stop there for a second, man. And this proves the Apocrypha is inspired, because if you go to the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13, it literally says the same thing, right? The broad gate that leads to destruction, but the narrow path that leads to life clearly proves that this book is part of the scriptures, right? Because you got guys out there who say, "Oh, the Apocrypha, that's all. That's fake. Don't read that." Nah, well, I mean, it's too much evidence to prove that the Apocrypha clearly is inspired, man. Anybody that doesn't believe that doesn't know the scriptures. All right, anyway. Verse 6, and here's what I want to focus on. It says, "There is also another thing. A city is builded and is set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things." All right, now what is that talking about? The city that's builded and full of all good things. The city that's built and full of all good things is talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. Okay, the kingdom of heaven. And hey, look, man, the kingdom is truly at hand right now. Okay, and that's why when you read, what is that, Revelation, right? The Lord told John, don't seal this book, right? Which, if you go to, what is that, Daniel 12th chapter, the Lord told Daniel to seal up the book to the time of the end, which we're in the end now. So now we can understand the prophecies of the scriptures. Back then it wasn't for those people, but now for us it is. Okay, bear with me a second. All right, so lucky about that. Let's read verse 6 again. "There's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go in therein at once. And if the city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?" Right, so we got to pass the danger that's set before the kingdom, man. What's the danger that's set before the kingdom? The danger is the earth, man. Right, the life that we live now. Right, this is the right, a test that one has to go through in order to see what lot you will receive in the next life, man. Okay, that's just how it is, man. In the place of judgment, which is the earth, and that's in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. I believe that's the 15th verse, which my recorder's almost dead now, so I got to wrap the lesson up in just a few minutes here. But hey, man, the way you got to look at things, man, Scriptures speak about what? My brethren, count it as joy when you fall into diverse temptations, man. Okay, because the scriptures speak about the Lord tries his elect, man. Okay, hey, look, if you're supposedly in this truth, man, and you ain't going through any type of hardship, man, you better check yourself. Because the Lord might not be dealing with you. Because the scriptures speak about the elect are going to be tried, man. Okay, the elect are going to be tried in this truth. Whether it be family problems, whether it be financial problems, whether it could be anything, man. Okay, any problem, it's not going to be the same problems for each individual, man. Okay, but you got to be tried in this, man. And if you're not, then that's a scary thing, man. Okay, because the scriptures speak about the Lord chastises his sons, man. All right, but the scriptures say what? If you are not chastised, then you are a bastard and not a son. Okay, so if you claim to be a son, right, of Yahweh, right? Well, hey, you got to go through chastisements, man. And of course, that's not a good thing, but that has to happen. That's part of the purifying process, man. All right, which maybe we'll do a lesson on that as well, man. Okay, but anyway, I hope that that lesson was edifying. Okay, to you, Akia, man. And yeah, man. The way you just gotta look at it, man. Is truly, even though contrary to popular belief, it is. The truth is, man, that it's more profitable in these times, man. To be a poor individual than to be a wealthy individual, man. Okay, and in the times that we're in now, man. So I just want to do that video. I hope that was edifying. Anybody that made it this far into the video, go ahead and put hashtag. Let me just see real quick. Hey, look, that's a whole nother thing when you deal with ETT, man. You never know what type of trick I have up my sleeve. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. They said that's another thing when it comes to ETT. You never know what type of trick I have up my sleeve. Anybody made it this far into the video, put hashtag card in the comment section down below. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to end off by giving all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, for this truth. And I'm going to say shalom.